On today's video, we're going to take you on a walking tour of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, one of the most beautiful cities in the Triangle. Hi, this is Chris Morton, real estate broker with eXp Realty in Raleigh, North Carolina, and on today's episode, we are going to take you on a walking tour of beautiful downtown Chapel Hill, North Carolina, home of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, one of the oldest cities in the state, and UNC being the oldest public university in the country. We hope you really enjoy it. We're going to start on East Franklin Street and walk our way down to West Franklin Street, back up again. If you stay until the end, you're also going to get to see a slice of the campus itself, as well as one of the most famous residential streets in Chapel Hill. So let's get on with it right now. So we're starting here on East Franklin Street in downtown Chapel Hill. We're going to work our way to West Franklin Street. Right here on the corner is Time Out. It's been open for 24 hours a day since 1978. Really great place to get food, especially at 3 a.m., but that's a story for another day. So if you stay until the end, you're going to see a great part of the UNC campus. It's really, really pretty. As we're filming this, it's spring. We're also going to film a famous residential street in Chapel Hill. Right here is Four Corners. It's a famous sports bar and restaurant. It was named after a famous basketball play created by legendary coach Dean Smith at UNC. And this is Yale Waffle Shop. Broke my heart. They closed in 2020. I loved going there when I was a student at UNC. They were open for 48 years. Coming up on Sutton's Drugstore. Now they don't sell drugs anymore in a pharmacy. They've been open since 1923. Great luncheonette. Great place to go hang out. Famous place for basketball players to come go to while they were playing basketball. This is the Shrunken Head. Been open since 1969. It's the oldest UNC store in Chapel Hill. Really great place to get your t-shirts, memorabilia, all that sort of thing. As you can see here, Franklin Street really has a very diverse food scene. Coming up on Insomnia Cookies. We did not try this when we were in town, but they are open until 1 a.m., 3 a.m. some nights on weekends. I gotta give that place a try at some point. So Franklin Street is known as a place for celebrations that happen whenever UNC wins a big basketball, football game. People come and celebrate. Really, really great place for that. This is Julian's. It was opened in 1942 by Maurice and Mary Julian. They have a famous son, Alexander Julian, the designer, clothing designer. He came back and expanded the store, moved it across the street after his parents passed away. The family still owns it, and as I said, it's been open since 1942. This is Varsity Theater. It's been open for 50 years. It's been closed since the shutdown in 2020, but great place to watch a movie. I remember when I was a student at UNC going and watching a movie there and loved it. And this is Chapel Hill Sportswear. Been open since 1989. There are a lot of places on Franklin Street where you can get your UNC apparel. This is definitely one of my favorites. Some more shops and restaurants going down the street here towards West Franklin Street. Past West Franklin Street, you make your way into Carborough, which is the city that's kind of attached to Chapel Hill. It's all one big city. And of course, Starbucks. There's no town complete without its own Starbucks. Unfortunately, at the time of this filming, there are a number of businesses that have closed due to the shutdown. You'll notice in some of the windows. But Franklin Street is such a popular place to have a restaurant or retail establishment. We're certain that there'll be new places that sprout up to take over these vacant spaces. Hot dogs, trolley stop hot dogs here. And this is a great pizza place, I hear. We're coming up on what used to be a gas station. It's now home to Blues on Franklin barbecue ribs, wings, and generally things you can eat while watching UNC football, basketball on the big screen. Also a FedEx office. Kinko's is here. I used to work there as the outside sales rep. It was my first job out of college. Further on down this side of the street, there are Well, we'll talk about what's across the street in a little bit, but on this side of the street have restaurants and shops and apartments up above. So as I said about UNC Chapel Hill celebrations on Franklin Street is famous for it. The other thing Chapel Hill and Franklin Street is famous for is the Halloween party that happens. Everybody dresses up, they close the streets off. It's a really, really cool thing. Again, more restaurant shopping with apartments up above. This came online probably 10, 15 years ago. We're coming up on Might As Well Bar. It has the 4 main food groups for every college kid: burgers, beer, pizza, and wings. The 4 food groups you got to have to survive as a college kid. And then next, this is the bicycle chain. Obviously a place where you can buy and get your bicycle or get it rehabbed. They've been there for at least 30 years. As long as I can remember, this place has been in this location. As I said, really diverse food scene here on Franklin Street. We're now going into West Franklin Street. Things get a little bit more eclectic, but you're definitely getting that multicultural vibe of food. Everything from a sushi restaurant to a Jimmy John's sub shop. Only in college towns are you going to see something like that. Coming up on a South Indian restaurant. It's a pretty mural here. As I said, really diverse food scene. And this coming up is Cha House. It's a true gem here in the Triangle. We're going to stop in and get a bite to eat. Really pretty shop. It's an authentic Taiwanese tea shop and restaurant. They have the highest quality tea and boba around. Really great menu selection. As I said, we decided to stop and eat. We got the pork chop and also the scallion pancake with ham. It was so good, both of them. And for the drinks, we got the Dirty Tiger and the strawberry matcha. That's the Dirty Tiger on the left and the strawberry matcha on the right. So Cha House started right here in Chapel Hill at this location, and there's now another location near NC State University in Raleigh, and a third one has just opened in Cary. We're gonna take a trip down to the Cary location really soon and let you guys see what that looks like. But we had a really good time, had some great drinks, and the food was really amazing. So as I said, the shops get a little more eclectic as you go down West Franklin Street. Right here on the right is the Mediterranean Deli and Market. Really large location. It was really hustling and bustling when we were by here. Dogwoods are in bloom right now. Really pretty. We decided to wait until the spring to film because Chapel Hill is just so beautiful with the flowers and the trees blooming. These 2 people got scared that we were following them, so they started running. No, just kidding. We sped up the video. West End Wine Bars here has closed. I was really disappointed to hear about that. It was a really cool wine bar. It's closed down recently, unfortunately. And coming up on the Carolina Brewery, really popular place to go have lunch, which is when we were by here to film this. here on the end is the Pit Comedy Theater. It's named after an area on UNC's campus where students congregate, and anyone can come, give a speech, and sometimes get debated by the students there in the pit. So I guess that has something to do with this place. I'm going to have to check it out at some point. So as we go down the building, here there's all kinds of different things. Indian cuisine, pizza shop, but down at the end is a restaurant we've talked about in the past. Al's Burger Shack is down here at the end. And we did a video recently where we, over a period of a year, tried 51 burgers in the Triangle area. Al's came out the #1 burger, and it's so good. Even though we were full from eating at the Cha House, we decided we needed to get something else, a dessert. And for dessert, we decided to get, yes, a burger. And we both got the Carolina burger, which is chili and slaw and cheese and all kinds of stuff. It's coming up here in the video. There it is. They were teeny tiny. It wasn't anything. This is from our video tour, and that's me chowing down on amazing burger. We loved Al's, and we've been back since, and it's still top burger in the Triangle. So anyway, we left Al's, and now we're headed across the street here. Just right in front of us is the Topo Distillery. Topo, short for Top of the Hill, which is a restaurant down the street that we're going to get to in a little bit. They are an organic distillery. They make vodka, whiskey, gin, and rum, spice rum. So obviously their alcohols are available and present in their drinks at their Top of the Hill restaurant. Like I said, we'll get to that in a little bit. Coming up on Cat's Tail Cafe, they are responsible for 254 adoptions, as you see there in the window. They have basically 12 cats on hand at a time for you to meet and play with and ideally adopt. They also have coffee, beer, wine, and more during your visit. So really cool concept there, doing a good deed and getting cats adopted out. Nice mural there as well. Wouldn't have wanted to take the time to paint that thing. That was huge. Coming up on 411 West, it's an Italian restaurant. It's been in this area and in this location since 1990. Italian Mediterranean fare, really, really good. They've won Best Italian Restaurant in the Triangle for many, many years. And this here on your right is a new restaurant concept that's just come about. Don't know if you have it in your town. It's called McDonald's. I imagine it's going to be coming to your town before too long. Heavenly Buffaloes. We love the logo. Have not been. There are 4 locations around, and their menu looks really nice. We're going to have to try it. Thinking about doing another video, a Chapel Hill staycation video, and we'll definitely go try out Heavenly Buffaloes, let you know what we think. And then coming up here on the right is the Graduate, which is a hotel. It's the only hotel right on Franklin Street. It's a chain of hotels that have sprouted up. They are around college campuses. They're a great place to stay if you're an alumni or a big fan of the school, and they're themed individually to each of the schools. So the one near University of Michigan is obviously themed for them. University of Virginia, it's got orange theming inside, and the one in Chapel Hill here obviously is Carolina Blue, which you can see on the ceiling here. This is a painting that is supposed to be the ID card for Michael Jordan, famous basketball player, for his ID card to get into Grenville Towers, and we'll talk about Grenville Towers here in a minute. So that's the lobby of the Graduate Chapel Hill. Definitely look forward to staying there for our staycation. Really, really cool. Someone was doing work on the roof. I'm glad it wasn't me. I would have fallen off of there and hit, busted my butt. Coming up here on the right, we have Carolina Square, and we flashed to this a little earlier when we were across the street talking about the apartments and businesses across the street. But this is apartments on top, office space, restaurants, shopping, etc. It's on the site of the old University Square complex. It opened in 2017. There's a Target here. And it's very, very cool. It's right in front of the Granville Towers complex I told you about a little earlier when I was talking about Michael Jordan at the Graduate Hotel. So Grenville Towers is off-campus student housing. Been there for many, many years. I stayed there during one summer when I was in school during the summer. And it's back there behind all of this newer buildings. This is so crazy to see this. Chapel Hill has changed so much, this section. This was not here before when I was going to school. Obviously 2017 it's all come about, so pretty new buildings. Really crazy to see. These guys here were eating pizza from this pizza press place. It looked really, really good. I wanted to ask them could I have a slice. Definitely have to try that next time we go to town. Another clothing store for UNC paraphernalia. And this is Arrow. It's a local chain of 9 locations. They specialize in men's haircuts. They have that old-time barber feel. Really, really cool. And there, back that way is more of Granville Towers. And this beautiful Chapel Hill Transit buses. And this here on the right is University Baptist Church. Really, really large church. Looks even prettier with all the plants out blooming. And this building straight ahead, looking down Columbia Street there. This building straight ahead, on the very top floor, is the Top of the Hill restaurant and micro brewery. It opened in 1994. It's a great place to see and be seen. It's a great place to watch the celebrations. If ever their UNC basketball wins a national championship, they will close down Franklin Street, and the epicenter of all of that is right below Top of the Hill, there in the middle of the street. More restaurants, pizza. Official food of all college students. This is University Florist. It's been there since 1946. Really great place for flowers and gifts and things like that. And this is Johnny T-shirt. It's been there since 1983. One of my favorite places to get a UNC T-shirt, shorts, whatever. And they always have really funny shirts. I've still got a few from my college days from Johnny T-shirt. Great place to go. And this is Carolina Coffee Shop. It's the oldest continually running restaurant in North Carolina. It's been open since 1922, almost 100 years. They have breakfast, lunch, dinner, coffee. Really, really nice place to eat. Really reasonable prices as well. So now we're going to start walking down, and on your right you're going to see a lot of the beginnings of getting onto campus. As I said, really, really pretty in the spring. Another church, Methodist church. Back on East Franklin where we filmed at the very beginning of this video. Again, getting on to showing some of the campus buildings. This one is much newer here on the right. It's not the buildings from the 1800s and 1900s that I'm used to. I think this was built about 20 years ago. So there you get a view of the campus. We're going to go that way here in a minute, as promised. But first, before we do, we want to walk down to the Moorhead Planetarium. Give you a little view of that. First state university to open its doors, 1795. As you could tell by this tour that we're taking and by the enthusiasm of my voice, I love going to school here. It was a great experience. Of course, back then we wrote on clay tablets, so things have changed a little bit since I was there. So this is the planetarium, Moorhead Planetarium. It's one of the oldest planetariums in the United States. It opened in 1949. Just about every student in the state of North Carolina, every elementary and middle school student in the state of North Carolina has been to the Moorhead Planetarium and visited it. It's always a major field trip that everyone took, a rite of passage for North Carolina students. So now we're going to go through the quad. This building on the left used to be, and it probably still is, the School of Mass Communication. So some of your most famous reporters and TV anchors, etc., have gone to school in that building. People you would have heard of on national TV, local TV, etc. So now we're getting into campus on the quad here. As I said, UNC Chapel Hill is the first state university to open in the United States, public university, opened to students in 1795. Only public university to graduate any students in the 18th century. Really crazy. This building coming up here is Old East. It was built in 1793. It is the first state university building in the United States. It's now a dorm, residence hall. This is Old Well. We're going to come back to this as well. This is an iconic spot to take a photograph, Pinterest spot, Instagrammable spot. That was South Building, one of the administrative buildings on campus. We'll talk about Old Well here in a minute. This is Old West. It was built in 1823 to mirror Old East. We're going to walk down a little bit this way. West. Show you a little bit of the campus. This building on the left is Memorial Hall. The current building here was built in 1929 to replace an older building named Memorial Hall that fell into disrepair and needed to be torn down and replaced. They hold a lot of concerts here. It's got about 1,500 seats. Nutcracker Ballet is one of the most popular things they do there. So again, Old Well. This was the main water source for the campus for many, many years. The current rotunda was completed in 1897 to replace a wood well that, as you can imagine, rotted away and got really, really old after 100 years. So this is like the iconic image of UNC Chapel Hill that most people associate the Old Well with the campus when you see any pictures. So anyway, Old East again. Over 200-year-old building, crazy. So now we're going to walk all the way down. More campus buildings. This is Coker Arboretum. It's over 5 acres of plants and green space. It's open daily. There's absolutely no charge. It's been here since 1903. Again, 5 acres of plants and trees, and just a great place to go walk and relax, commune with nature, as the saying goes. I'm going to head up back towards Franklin Street. And all of these buildings you see on the left and right are going to be dorms. And no, cars are not going really, really fast. We just sped up the video. These are a lot of dorms, a little bit of residential here as well, but a lot of these are, excuse me, dorms, sorry, fraternities and sororities just off campus. And this is a residential street, Gimgul, that's right off of campus, right nearby. There's a famous secret society called the Order of the Gimgul that very few people know about. It apparently was the movers and the shakers of each year, and it's still going on right now. Still a popular thing to be part of. It's, as I said, a secret society founded in 1889. So there you go. We hope you enjoyed this video. We'd love your comments, what your thoughts are on Chapel Hill, and please like and subscribe below. We'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.